This is He Knows the Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, before I get to the actual video itself, which is Runtime is ducking Errol, Spence, and Terrence Crawford. I'm going to say that again. Runtime is ducking Errol, Spence, and Terrence Crawford. I want to talk about this nonsense that I just saw on ES News with Robert Garcia. Come on, man. See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Stop the presses and pump the brakes on the nonsense. You want to sit here and you want to celebrate the fact that Josecito Lopez was an 18-1 underdog, but he fought a arduous, long, and drawn out and close fight against Keith Thurman. Please, I would take that win with a grain of salt. I got to say hats off to Robert Garcia, man, because I need to learn that quality. I need to learn that style. I'm going to say that again. I need to learn that quality and I need to learn that style. It's that style of when you lose, you talk about it in such a way as if you won. I'm going to say that again. When you lose, you talk about it in such a way as if you won. I mean, if you listen to Robert Garcia, man, and when he was being interviewed by ES News, the way that he was talking, it sounded like he won the fight, man. His fighter won the fight. Oh yeah, they were saying we were 18-1 underdogs, and then they say Mikey is 4-1 underdog, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. But we're 18-1 underdogs, and you saw what we did, man. We pulled it off. We proved everybody wrong. The Garcia family is delusional and they're hypocritical. I'm gonna say that again. They are delusional and they are hypocritical. They have been taking L's after L's after L's, man. The only person who's been giving them moderate and marginal success is Mikey Garcia, and his ass is about to get the L come March 16. I'm going to say that again. His ass is about to get a fat L come March 16. That's neither here nor there. In another video, I'm going to run part 22 of Mikey Garcia. The reason why Mikey Garcia will be demolished by Errol Spence, I'll talk about that in that video. But on to this video. Robert Garcia is full, man. These guys want to sit here and act like, see, this is what I was trying to say. We know damn well Josecito Lopez is not no Superman. That Victor Conte snacks, like I've been telling people, there's something in the air with that stuff, man. I told folks, go do your research on Victor Conte and figure out this guy still got pending charges against him, man. This is the guy that they have in their camp. This dude's illegal as you don't know what. But they don't want to talk about that. And I know other people have been vilifying me and say, well, what about Devin Haney and what about Danny Jacobs and what about all these other fighters that's been under snack? My thing is this. If you are around a guy that, and I'm going to openly say this and be honest with it, and y'all could take it to the bank and y'all could do whatever you want to do with it. But it is what it is. You know me, I call a spade what it is, a spade. If you are working with a guy, Victor Conte, and you're working with Snack, and you know what he has previous and prior allegations on, I have to question you and I have to question your camp. I don't care which fighter it is. I'm going to say that again. If you are working with Victor Conte and you are working with Snack, as that fighter, I have to question you and I have to question your camp. I have to question your ethics and I have to question your morals, because why are you working with somebody like that? We know damn well fighters want money. So maybe it might be because, they just want to advertise and market for him so that they can get every little dollar. But is every little dollar worth selling your soul? I'm going to say that again. Is every little dollar worth selling your soul? To me, it's not. So why should it be for those guys? You know what this guy's all about, man. He's bad news, man. This guy has not only been given illegal drugs for a number of years, but he's been single-handedly mastered the ability to now create these hybrid versions of illegal drugs that don't get detected in the system. You see, I told everybody, man, right after that fight, they should have tested Josecito Lopez immediately. But, the Brooklyn, boxing commission is not up to par as the Nevada boxing commission. And that's not to say that Nevada boxing commission is not corrupt. We all know boxing and their politics and the corruptness that there is or thereof of it. But the reality is this. They're not to that level of the Nevada State Boxing Commission. You know what I'm saying? They just been around a lot less time. So they're not hip on how to catch all of these different things. If I was them, I would have Vada and I would have had USADA there right then and there after that fight testing. And I would have had them doing all of their hybrid variations of tests that they do. Because they, oh yeah, let's get, we need to keep it a buck. These two know how to stay up to date and stay modernized. That's how they catch fighters. They know how to stay up to date and modernize will be able to detect anything that's in anyone's system. So please, Robert Garcia, stop making it seem like Jose Cito Lopez, who is a bona fide journeyman at best, I graduated him to super journeyman, did something notable. He beat a guy that was laid off for 22 months. And you think that's impressive? Please, man, you get the biggest higgity hush for the day. Now, back on to Keith Thurman and runtime. Keith Thurman is not one time no more. The man is runtime. I'm going to say that again. Keith Thurman is not one time no more. He is runtime. The man is the master of spinning the media to benefit, what he wants the media to think. And I know I got vilified, by what's his boy's name or whatever his name, Island Star TV, telling me, well, how dare you compare Keith Thurman to LeBron James? Yeah, damn right I compare to both of them. Because, they both got one thing in common. They like to spin the narrative to fit their bullshit argument, man. They like to spin the narrative to fit that bullshit argument. They're really good at doing that stuff. Because when the reporters was asking them questions, they were asking questions about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You saw how he spin that shit? Oh, I would like to fight Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's 40 years old, man. He is past his prime. Why are you fighting a guy like that? You have a bull in Errol Spence that's been calling your ass out since 2013. Why are you not taking that fight? We know you're not ready. We know you need 2 more fights this year before you can fully work the ring rust off. Because anybody, the real G's, the real ones that know the boxing the way that I do and have that true boxing knowledge the way that I have it, know that Keith Thurman needs at least 2 more fights before he's really, truly ready to be on that elite level of the welterweight division. Because in my estimation, he's the 3rd best welterweight. I got Errol Spence number 1, I got Terrence Crawford number 2, and I got Keith Thurman number 3. Now, I know some people are going to vilify and they're going to try to say, well, you need to mix that number up or whatever. No, that's my order, and that's what it's going to be because runtime is dunking both of those guys. He's ducking them. Because let's just put everything in its proper context and its proper perspective. I'm going to say that again. Let's put everything in its proper context and its proper perspective. If Keith Thurman was fighting the likes of a Errol Spence and a Terrence Crawford that night, then they would have got his ass out of there anywhere between 6 to 8 rounds. Because Errol Spence would have just straight brutalized him. He would have just straight body snatched him because he knows Keith Thurman's biggest weakness. He can't take body shots. So Errol Spence would have just walked him down in the high guard and used tactical aggression and technical punching placement so that he could sit there and just body snatch his ass up all night. He'll just be working the body. He won't even go to the head. Just straight body him up. And that right there would have had this man pissing blood, and he would have just give a knee and say, I can't take no more. They'd have to throw, Dan Birmingham would have to throw that damn towel in. And then Terrence Crawford would have just been switching it up all night on him, orthodox and southpaw. And he would have used his athleticism because Keith Thurman has some degree of athleticism, but he's not as athletic as a Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford would out-athletic him. I'm going to say that again. Terrence Crawford would out-athletic him, and he would use the ring generalship to cut that ring off. And then once he cut the ring off, we all know what I like about Terrence Crawford, man. He's a dog, man. Just like Errol Spence, he's a dog, but in his own way. And he has this streak. When he goes into that dog streak, he just want to go after you, man, and stalk his prey down. That's what he would have done to Keith Thurman. He would have just stalked him down and just start landing those thudding power shots that he does. Because say what you want, Terrence Crawford don't got the Errol Spence thudding power, but that boy got some serious pop. And if he lands a accumulation of combination punches towards you, you going down. And the way that I saw Jose Cito Lopez was throwing those awkward shots and they were landing on Keith Thurman, if it was either one of those two, man, they would have dismantled this dude, man. This is what I'm talking about. Keith Thurman needs to higgity hush. Stop talking about, the boxing fans, this is not McDonald's, have it your way. Don't focus on us, man. You according to yourself, and I'm glad you acknowledged that, you gave a C performance. But to me, it was more like a C minus, kind of like going borderline towards a D performance. It shows you need to just hush your mouth for a second, higgity hush, you know what I'm saying? Pump the brakes and stop the presses on the nonsense. Stop talking about all of these top guys in the welterweight division and just focus on your craft, man. Fight 3 times a year, man. Work your way back up. Because there is such a thing as working your way back up to the top. And you are nowhere near the top, though. The Keith Thurman that I saw last night, man, you are nowhere near. Even Danny Garcia and Sean Porter would have beat you that night. Yes, I said it. Sean Porter and Danny Garcia would have beat you that night because you had a lot of rust there. You weren't yourself, man. You could see it. The swagger wasn't there. You was getting staggered. You was getting dazed. Because say what you want, Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, man, these boxers, they have a lot of vices, man. They have a lot of vices. Like Sean Porter, I consider him the Mike Tyson that went wrong. I'm sorry, man. Maybe that'll make some of y'all laugh. But to me, he is Mike Tyson that went wrong because he does all of this in and out stuff that Mike Tyson does, the way that he moves. But the problem is he doesn't have the combination work. And he doesn't have the technical punching placement work that a Mike Tyson has to know when to throw those punches. It's kind of like the way that I would describe Sean Porter, and I know this is going to make y'all laugh, is you know how, you know what I'm saying, you know, a cat's about to go and talk to a girl, you know, and he done mustered up all of the energy to go talk to the girl and he want to say what he wants to say. It's all in his mind. But then when the opportunity comes, he has a fart moment and he can't say nothing. And it's kind of like everything is just, you know, cat caught your tongue. That's the way Sean Porter fights. He's smothering you, right? He's cutting the ring off. He's doing all of these good things. But then it's like, okay, do I throw an accurate punch? Or do I, get him out of there? Do I, you know what I'm saying, place my punches right? Do I, you know what I'm saying, throw the hook? Or do I just sit there and just maul him? Like, he's a confused fighter. This man has a lot of vices. And Danny Garcia, although he has his timing is very elementary, man. He got that elementary type of timing. It's there. It's good. You know what I'm saying? It'll catch you if you really have a delayed reaction like the way Amir Khan did. The only reason why Amir Khan lost that fight is Amir Khan was fighting with his heart, and he had such a delayed reaction that Danny Garcia was able to catch him. And if you go look at a lot of Danny Garcia's wins, they've been off of the strength of luck. I'm not taking nothing away from Danny Garcia. He's a pretty good boxer, but he's nowhere near the upper echelons of those top 3 guys when they're on their shit. And I'm talking about Keith Thurman, that is. Because we know Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are always on their shit. But I'm talking about Keith Thurman when he's on his stuff. Danny Garcia is nowhere near him. But Danny Garcia is so elementary with that time. And that's why Keith Thurman, when he was playing those mind tricks and he was talking about that stuff, he brought it up. And see, this is the stuff. This man liked to spin the media. Keith Thurman want to talk about those guys because that's the fights he wants. He wants no parts of Errol Spence. He wants no parts of Terrence Crawford. And I got to call him out for what it is, man. This dude ain't fooling me. You spin master. You just like LeBron in that regard, man. Y'all real good with trying to spin the narrative to fit whatever viewpoint or narrative or argument that y'all want, man. Y'all are really good at that stuff because LeBron on the basketball end has been able to bamboozle, you know, these LeBron apologists and these LeBron James stans. You can't tell them nothing. You know, it's like they're like a brigade, man. They come at you and they're ready to rip your head off, the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharps of the world. It's the same thing with boxing with Keith Thurman, man. Keith Thurman has single-handedly mastered the art of switching the narrative, man, so that he can find ways to get himself out of that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence fight. He doesn't want to fight those guys, man. It's evident. It's written all over his face. You can see it, especially Terrence Crawford. I don't know what it is about Terrence Crawford's style, but that style annoys him, man. If you notice, he just ignores every topic that's brought up with Terrence Crawford. He more talk about Errol Spence than he does Terrence Crawford. I think it probably has to do with the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Errol Spence is more so, you know, his stablemate. You know, they're under Al Heyman. So he knows that, that fight it's easier to be made. I think it's more from that standpoint, more than anything, because to me, Errol Spence will be able to do the same amount of damage, if not more, to a Keith Thurman that Terrence Crawford would be able to. So it's not really coming from that standpoint. That's just my take on it. But this man does not like talking about these guys. He'll find a way to say, nah, I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Like the end of the fight, calling out Manny Pacquiao. You're not even ready for Pacquiao right now. The way you fought that night, if you going to win the very next fight and you try to fight Manny Pacquiao, come on. And then I didn't hear you say, hey, we're going to fight 2 more times. I just heard him say, oh, we're going to fight later this year. If you're going to fight just 1 more time this year, dude, you're going to lose that belt quicker than you could say WBA champion. I'm going to say that again. You're going to lose that belt quicker than you could say WBA champion if you're trying to fight the likes of a Manny Pacquiao. Because say what you want, Pacquiao's 40 years old. But the Pacquiao that I saw against that Broner in that Broner fight versus the Keith Thurman I saw against this Josecito Lopez fight, I got Pacquiao winning that fight. Probably by a late stoppage. Because Pacquiao got way more thudding power than Josecito Lopez. And if Pacquiao, can combine his punches like the way he does when he throws those punches in bunches, he'll get Thurman out of there, man. So don't be calling this man out. That's a legend, well within his right. Yeah, he ain't nowhere near the Pacquiao years of old. He is a shell of himself. But he's still good enough to beat this Thurman that I saw that was in front of me tonight or last night. So, dude, just keep fighting tune-up fights, man. At this point, this is the level you're at. I'm sorry I had to call you out, but Keith Thurman just higgity hush, man, because right now it's all about just going and working your craft and fighting, man, because right now you're not nowhere near the level you are. And that ring rust showed. And Robert Garcia, come on, man, stop it. You knew you fought a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years and you want to validate that? Then you want to sit here and get slide to the mouth and find a way to throw Mikey Garcia into the mix? Oh, Mikey Garcia is just a 4-1 odds. Please, that boy's getting stopped, man. That dude's getting demolished. That dude's getting man down, strap season, flatline, Hulk, smash, and he's getting Thor, Stormbreaker, and Thanos with the Infinity Stones on his ass. So I don't even want to hear you talk about this cat. Errol Spence is coming. I don't even care. Because at the end of the day, Keith Thurman was just ring rust and out of shape, and it showed. Errol Spence is going to be ready. And I don't care what amount of stacks Victor Conte is going to have Mikey Garcia loaded up on, because he is going to be loaded up. Errol Spence is going to put that man down in 5 rounds. Because from the gate, he's going to get into that high guard, walk his ass down, cut that damn ring off, and just have him at the corner and straight body snatching his ass up. And there's nothing Mikey Garcia can do to throw Errol Spence off of him, because Errol Spence is going to have the weight advantage, he's going to have the size advantage, and he's going to have that damn thudding power and tactical aggression and technical punching placement advantage on his side. Mikey Garcia is going to be screwed, man. I told you, that boy is going to get put out on the stretcher, man. He's going to be pissing blood at the end of that fight. We're not even going to be able to recognize this dude. His career damn near is going to be over. You book it. This is He Knows His Sport. Check it out.